Welcome to my review of the Wysocki Pro Pig by Innova. It's a brand new Tour Series disc for Rick, and it is a really nice flyer and really consistent. It has a fantastic feel in the hand. The Pig was actually my first ever overstable, kind of short-range overstable disc. It was an R Pro Pig that I had in the bag many years ago, and it was really my first introduction to that overstable kind of approach disc. I think I ended up switching over to the Zone not too long after that, and then have moved on to other things since then as well. But it is kind of my original overstable disc. So when I heard that Ricky was throwing the Pig and enjoying it, I thought that was interesting. It was working really well for his forehands. I'm sure you guys have noticed if you've seen him play of late. He was just throwing this thing so well, particularly in San Francisco, just putting it where it needs to go over and over again. And it seems to be a really effective disc for him. So I wanted to get one, not only to support Rick, but to test and review for you guys as well. So let's talk about this thing a little bit. It is definitely a pretty cool stamp. I dig it. I really like this cartoon pig. I think that's rad. I've always liked that design. And then couple that with Ricky's kind of grenade design with the chains there. Wysocki Pro Pig Tour Series. It's a good looking disc. I dig the stamp very much. This one is 175 grams. It's already starting to lose where it's marked, but I do like how they're putting the molds actually kind of stamped in, so you don't have to worry about the pen rubbing off and forgetting what this disc is, or having a tournament stamp or something and being confused as to what it is. Makes a lot more sense to have it stamped in. So, pretty flat across the top. It has a little bit of a thumb track there. Characteristic of the Pig and the Rhino. It's got that little bit of a groove there where your thumb can kind of tuck in if you want to. Definitely mostly flat. Looking at the rim profile, it's got a rounded, blunt edge. It does have this little dip here, so it's not completely rounded over the whole top there. It's got the little, little indentation there, kind of more old school kind of vibe to it. And this one is considered pro plastic, but to me it feels almost identical to the XT plastic. I reviewed the XT Bullfrog. This plastic feels very much like that. It's very rigid, like it doesn't really bend very much at all in the hand, but it has a little bit of a give on the flight plate when you tuck your thumb and put some pressure down there. It actually kind of gives under the thumb a little, so it's not like rock hard, but it's definitely not flexible very much at all. It's pretty rigid, and it grips like crazy. It's got a ton of tacky grip to it that just inspires confidence in the hand. I feel like it releases really clean and even and consistently based on how firm it is, but it also has a really tacky grip to it that just makes it a really confidence-inspiring disc. It feels really great in my hand, and I had no trouble releasing it exactly when and where I wanted to. Let's put it up next to a couple other options. I don't have a ton of things. I wish I had like a Zone or a Rhino or something like that to put it up next to, but I don't. I have my Caltrep. This is a Megasoft Caltrep. Caltrep is the disc I throw in this kind of situation, and it would be the disc that would be in danger of getting bumped if I were to switch to the Pig, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point. So you can see the Caltrep much different. It's got like a Caltrep's almost like an overstable lid. It's a really interesting disc. It is, yeah, it's got an interesting vibe to it, but I dig it, and it's one of my most trusted discs. I do enjoy it. It's much deeper and has a lot of a different vibe going on there, but it's quite similar in terms of what you use it for. It's a overstable approach disc. Not quite as overstable as the Pig, I'll say that. The Pig has more fade based on my testing. And also we have a Champ Gator. This is a similar disc that you use it for a similar thing. Might go a little bit farther for the average player, or not, depending on how overstable your Gator is and how much arm speed you have. They might fly not all that different. And there is your look side by side with the Gator. So overall, the Pig feels really great in the hand, and I love this plastic, and the whole design of it feels nice. I like the flat top, and yeah, it feels really good to me. Let's take a look at some flights of this thing. It's overstable. It's an approach disc. You know what it's going to do. It's not a surprising disc. It's a short range. It's not a complete meat hook, but it's definitely plenty overstable. You need to play it out to the right and play for that natural fade into the bucket, but if you do that, you can put it on a dime pretty easy. I have not really tested it all that much, to be perfectly honest with you guys, but I really don't feel like I need to. I don't think it's going to surprise me at any time, and I also have previous experience with pigs as well, but it just does what you think it's going to do. You throw it out to the right, it fades strong, it lands and sits, it doesn't skip hardly at all, it just kind of lands right where it is and just checks up. The plastic being kind of tacky and firm, it just grabs the ground, it sits where you want it to be, and it's beautiful. So it's kind of like a no-brainer, just point and shoot disc. All I have to do is just make sure I throw it strong. If you fluff it, it's not going to get there. So you got to give it enough of a throw to make sure it reaches the target. But that's kind of a nice thing. That's what I love about the Caltrop as well. It's not a glidey disc either, and it's overstable. It sits where it needs to be. So all you got to do is just aim it out to the right a little bit. Make sure you commit to throwing the shot, and you're going to be inside the circle 9 times out of 10. I mean, it just goes where you want it to go, and it lands and it sits. It keeps you really close to the basket. So if you're looking for a disc that you can dial in those open approaches, and you just want something that takes all the guesswork out of it, whether, you know, if I'm going to try to throw straight at the basket with a soft magnet or something like that, I can do that. That's totally fine. But it just makes so much more sense on open shots to play the hyzer. It's a much more consistent release angle. It's a consistent flight. You know exactly what it's going to do, and this Pro Pig is perfect for that. I don't really have a forehand to test for it, but obviously you guys know that's pretty much what Ricky's been using it for. He throws it for forehands most of the time. I feel like I'm pretty sure he's throwing an AVR X3 more backhands, and then he's throwing the Pig for his forehands, and he's just putting it next to the basket over and over again. So if you're looking for a forehand approach disc, it should be a great option based on that evidence and just based on the flight characteristics. It's overstable, but it's not a complete meat hook. You can get it to kind of work out and flex as well if you need to. And definitely a really trustworthy, consistent disc to just get you up and down time after time. It's always nice to have a disc you know exactly what it's going to do. And you can trust it to throw that really consistent approach shot and get you inside the circle. That is my review on the Wysocki Pro Pig. Had a great time testing it. I will probably hold on to this one and see how things go. Might be something that I carry. It's definitely more overstable than my Caltrops, and I could see it being nice for more of those sharper lines, more of a sharp hyzer up to the basket. It seems to hold that angle really nicely. It has a little bit more of an aggressive fade. So it's something I might hold on to and see how it works for me going forward. Thanks for watching. I'll check you later. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. If you would like to see your name listed in the credits of all of my videos, go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd.